My first ever lead was a body corporate. So we're 11 years down the track. I'm still doing that client. We do them 3 days a week. It's a very large customer.
And you guys are crazy. I can't believe how cheap your leads are. Jim should be charging triple to quadruple what the actual lead is for the quality of the work and the lifetime value, as you mentioned before, about the jobs.
To be honest, in the 2 years we've been franchisors, we've had no new franchisees that have needed the pay for work guarantee. They have enough work of their own and enough work that we can bring in for them.
Welcome to the Jim's Mowing in the Jim's Group podcast series. We've got John and Jodie Wildes, who have been long-time franchisees and now franchisors with the Jim's Group. And John's actually a trainer. You've just finished doing your training session as well, and you just told me before that you got Jodie up the front in front of 100 plus new prospects.
Well, we did. It was fun. Got Jodie up because Jodie's a big part of our Jim's life and a big part as franchisors and the support she offers. And I always talk about when you come to gyms, one of the reasons we grow our gyms group, whatever division that is, works is because of support. And I talk about how Jodie it took 6 months for Jodie to understand that she wasn't annoying people. It was the support. She would ring and the support. And once she got it, she understood how much she could learn because people were freely giving up information and helping you to grow your business, grow in your journey, grow as a human being even, which is fantastic. I think that's just for me, that is what makes the Jim's Group a successful group.
It's a very partner-focused business, and for those who are watching and listening, if you're a partner wondering about it, if you're on the fence a bit, you can come to training because, as you would know, there's partners which are allowed for free in training, which is a very generous offer from Jim because he understands that the partner, depending which role they want to do, is really, really important. So the partner has to be on board, and obviously you're an example of that. Now, Jodie, do you want to talk about your journey within the Jim's Mowing business? So how did you start with John as a franchisee, and now how have you developed into your franchisor role?
Yeah, sure. So 10 years ago when John started Jim's Mowing and his own franchise, I was just in the background, fully on board and supportive, but never wanted to mow a lawn or do anything like that. So a little bit of admin behind the scenes, but I had a full-time job as well, so I was still doing that. But fully supportive of what he was doing. But as that grew, and then we got the opportunity to purchase the franchisor business, I knew it was something that could make me step away from full-time work and have my own business and help John with that. And I think without having me, the franchisor role wouldn't have got started because he couldn't do everything. And there are skills that I bring to that side of the business. He's more the face of everything and I'm the admin. But as he said before, getting more confident with, doing my own thing with franchisees and answering their questions and calls and helping them. So, yeah.
Let's take back one step as well, because you mentioned something that I think is really important because it's quite often happens is that once someone inquires about a Jim's Mowing franchise, the partner or the wife might think, oh, geez, I'm just adding on to my, as you just mentioned, full-time job plus other things. So from a partner's perspective, you mentioned something which I think when people watch this, they might go, yeah, I don't want to add more paperwork or add more work to what I'm currently doing. So how did you go with that, having a full-time job plus then supporting John in the business?
Okay, so it was because Jim's has so many processes in place and so many things that you can use, your Jim's Online, Jim's Jobs. There wasn't a lot of extra. If you've, and with sort of bookkeeping and everything, I mean, I was very lucky I've got a bookkeeping background, but there are so much support out there. There's, Jim's Bookkeeping you can bring on board to help you with all that extra paperwork if the franchisee doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, I think that's the important point. The thing is, you're not getting lumped with all this extra work as a partner. There are things in gyms, as you mentioned, Jim's Jobs, Jim's Online. Jim's Bookkeeping is a no-brainer for a lot of new franchisees as well. So hopefully that doesn't put anyone off supporting their partner in the decision.
No.
And if you're not comfortable doing it, get someone to do what they do. You do what you do to earn the income to do that. So, yeah, but it's important that you also, your partner's on board. There's not a lot of work. I would say there's not a lot of work, Joel. There is a lot of work if you leave it a week. There's a day's work, boring paperwork. But if you do it every day and keep on top of it, it might only be 15, 20 minutes work.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of work. It's just having the discipline to get home and do it straight away, and it's done. Or early in the morning, whatever suits you.
Now, you mentioned the word before franchisor. So franchisor is a term we're familiar with, but people outside the gyms group aren't familiar with. So maybe you want to talk about what is a franchisor and what is your role as a franchisor?
Well, our roles as franchisors are, one is support. So when they come on board, doesn't matter what your experience is. If you have very little experience, we bring you on board. We help you to start your business, get you on the ball, get the ball rolling, and that might be starting with your gyms online, your gyms jobs, even helping you to process of an accounting package if you're using that. If you don't want it, using a bookkeeper, developing your skills. Like I don't mind going out. I go out quite regularly with franchisees, even when they've had a lot of experience, go out to help them to do jobs because I've got skills maybe that they don't have, and I can help them develop those skills and making sure they're coming along. And then Jodie supports them through all their support with their gyms on. So explain what you're doing.
All the admin side of things. John can be out and about on the road and with different things, and I'm in the office or full time now. So anything that needs any admin stuff, if you get a lead and you don't know what to do with it, or you're a little bit confused with something, or you need leads turned on or off, or I'm always there to just call me and I can fix any of that for you.
I think the good thing with new franchisees coming to the system, because you've been doing the business for a long time, you still have your current franchise as well with multiple staff. So, and plus you get to hear about all the problems from all these other franchisees in your region. So you have all this experience from other situations. So when new franchisees come on board, they can leverage of all the knowledge, not only from you guys, but from all the other stuff that you hear from franchisees, and you can direct them with other franchisees as well. So I think that's an important part to point out, is that if you don't know something, or you need a specialist in some area, you've got a franchisee in your region who knows how to do it.
Yeah, it's really important when you join gyms, and if you're joining gyms and you're a bit reluctant because you're not sure of your skills, don't worry. There's tons of support here. There's support from me, whether that's the hands-on. There's support from the backroom stuff that you need to do, the admins with Jodie. So whatever that is, and for us as franchisors, for Jodie and I, we're available pretty much 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. We will answer questions. No problems. We'll pick up the phone and we will answer questions. It's a part of, we want you to grow. We want you to grow a business. We want you to be happy. We want you to move forward. So that's what we're there for. So as franchisors, it's got nothing to do with anything else. If I've got happy franchisees, everything will work well. So my number one priority is to make sure my franchisees are happy.
Now, Jodie, from your perspective, what are some of the common questions you get from prospects, or maybe misconceptions people have about Jim's Mowing when they look into being a franchisee? Because the one that comes to mind, and I'm putting on the spot, is fees, because obviously outside people, we do a lot of Facebook ads, and the comment we always see is Jim takes 50% or takes 40%. So maybe you want to clear up some confusion around how the fees work.
Yeah, so the fees are a set amount each month. Obviously, if you take more leads, then your fees are going to go up for that month. But the set monthly fee is the same every month, whether you make $5 or you make $5,000 in a week. That he doesn't take a percentage of your income. It's just a set monthly fee, and I think that's a great thing, because at least at the start of the month, you know what your main cost is going to be, and you can work from there.
You'd be happy it's a fixed fee, John, with how big your business is, with how much revenue you've got. If it was a percentage of revenue, Jim would be a lot more happier with.
It's wonderful, It's not restricting your hard work.
Yeah.
In fact, if anything, it's helping your hard work. You work. The harder you work, the more you can make. It's not like going to work. You work, and if you work those 2 or 3 hours extra, not everyone's paying overtime. We know that, or you've got pride. It's not even the overtime. It's you've got pride in what you do. So you spend a little bit more time at work. Okay, so you bring that same pride to what you're doing. So if you want to earn a few extra dollars, you're not restricted or a disadvantage because someone's taking more fees because of your hard work. That is another part of what I love about gyms. It rewards hard work.
Yeah, I'd say if people are looking at this, you will be looking at multiple different franchise systems, but really look at the fee structure and how that works. But also, you mentioned lead fees. Now, lead fees just from my perspective, I've got my opinion about what are lead fees to you? Maybe do you want to outline the purpose of them and actually how cheap they are relative to what you can generate from them?
Oh, so you pay one lead fee, and obviously if you aren't successful with that job, then that's a little bit of a disadvantage. But generally, if you get that job, that's the only fee you pay, and you've got that job then for as long as that customer wants you, and also that fee can lead to more work. Like it's not just that one job that they've rung up for. There could be extra work, and then that customer is on the system as your customer for life. They may not do anything else with you for 2 years, and then they ring back up, and they're immediately yours. You don't pay another fee for that customer, and you get more money.
And John, what's the most valuable customer you've got from the Gyms League?
Oh, I talk about my first client. Yeah. I had my first ever lead was a body corporate. So we're 11 years down the track. I'm still doing that client. We do them 3 days a week. So we're there. It's a very large customer. And we, at the time, paid a very small fee compared to now. Well, it's still a small fee, but it was even smaller. So they can turn into major clients as spending a lot of money. I've had leads where the client's been $150,000 a year client.
There you go, from a $14 lead.
Yeah, from a tiny little lead. Yeah. And the other thing I love about leads is I still think with leads, you're never quite sure what you're going to get. You can get a $60 mo, you can get a $150 client, as I said, a year. You just never know.
150 grand, sorry.
150 grand, yes.
Got to make it sound better.
So... the other thing is that I always think with leads, there's probably a couple of referrals. If you're successful with that lead, there are still people out there not using services. So when you get a lead, as long as everything's right and if they've got the client on board and the job's perfect, there are probably 2 referrals behind it.
That's a fantastic point because, that's something we actually don't talk about too much. That's a really, really good point as well. And I think also that if you're a prospect watching this, look at where the leads are being generated from. I know other systems that don't even generate their own leads. They're using third parties like High Pages and Service Seeking, and then they're making them travel all over the place. And we know that for a fact because people from other systems come through training. So I think being able to generate an actual lead with the brand is really, really important. And people, our click-through rate's a lot higher because of the word gyms, right? So when the gyms Google ad is there, people will tend to trust it more and click through it. They already know who we are. It's so much more valuable. And remember when Mike Andy's come out from America, you remember it.
Yep.
Big lawn care entrepreneur, and you can look him up, but he couldn't believe how cheap our leads were. And it's quite funny, you hear complaints sometimes about lead fees, and he's just going, you guys are crazy. I can't believe how cheap your leads are. Gyms should be charging triple to quadruple what the actual lead is for the quality of the work and the lifetime value, as you mentioned before, about the job.
Well, Jodie was talking about returning clients.
Yeah.
I haven't taken leads for 7 or 8 years, but I get clients every spring, and I actually look at the phone and go, what is that? And it's a lead.
Yeah.
Because I'm not that up to date, and it'll be a client I haven't seen for 6 or 7 years, and they've rung the system again, and I've pinged back at them and come back to them. It might be again just a once-off service because they needed help, something's gone wrong in the family or whatever, or they're just busy. So, but that lead comes back, and you've instantly got that connection again.
Yeah, and also for customers, it's better because if you're paying, the reason why I was brought in was because people weren't, back in the early days of gyms, they'd be busy and they wouldn't call the person back. But if you're paying for that lead, you will then try and do everything you can, be a good customer experience as well. Now, Jodie, you obviously deal with a lot of prospects who come in and you speak with the people originally. Mm-hmm. What sort of person is calling up about a Jim's Mowing franchise, or what's maybe some common things about them?
I find they're somebody who is wanting a little bit more freedom in their world, in their work world. I know with me leaving a full-time job to be a franchisor, it was more for and I don't like saying the lifestyle because, not everyone wants to have that, major like work-life, you need to have work-life balance, but you still do need to work. But for me, it was the flexibility to be able to, deal with life issues like, elderly parents or children, young children, to be able to go and drop them at school or pick them up from school. I know when John started with his, our son was only small, so it was great that, yes, he had a business to run, but he could also drop things if need be. So people who are wanting a bit more flexibility in their thing, being their own boss, dictating to themselves how hard or that they're going to work. Also, people who maybe even have a passion for gardening. I know that was John's thing. He was a sales rep in the picture framing industry for 30 plus years. But in the back of his mind, he always had a passion for gardening and mowing lawns. And that's so, if you've got that passion as well, it's a great thing to do.
And what about, even though it's blokes, I've seen a few more women come through training to do Jim's mowing. And I think if there's a lady watching this or a prospect, I think they've got such a big advantage over the blokes because there's more women customers, and I think they'd get a lot more clientele a bit easier. What maybe your thoughts about more women getting into the industry?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Because you've got an apprentice.
We had an apprentice, and I always tell the story. I actually went to find a female employee because we were very blokey. So we wanted that balance in our business. And Georgia came along. What a wonderful employee she was. She won Apprentice of the Year 2 years in a row. So for us, I'm very proud of that as an employer, that we helped to develop Georgia as that employee and as that person moving forward. But females in the industry, the other thing with mowing is you don't have to do or with Jim's mowing, I should say, you don't have to do the big heavy lifting. You can control what sort of work you want to do. Okay, whether it's a little bit of mowing and a lot more gardening style, you don't have to do heavy pruning if it's not you. There's also that support. So if you can't do the heavy pruning, you can bring in other Jim's people to help you. So if you're afraid of, I'm not going to be capable of doing some job because it might be a bit heavy or it's not the work I want to do, I don't want that wear and tear on my body, you can then dictate you can get help through the group, through other Jim's mowing franchisees to help you. But as a female, even look at it, this is not stereotyping, but whatever the partner is, it could have been a stay-home parent. Now still got school involved, but we want some other employment. We want to have a job where we can still have some flexibility. Jim's mowing franchise is a fantastic opportunity for that. You can control your hours you work around involving your children or your family. You can also, that way, you can grow the business as well. And again, with that fee structure, it's not expensive. It's not like you have to do so much work or it's on the basis of your turnover. So with the small fee structure, you can start small and gather it up. And then as the children go to more school or become a little bit more independent, you can let the children grow, your business can grow, and you can develop something. So by the time the children are fully independent, you can have a really good business going on that you've just developed through the way your life's developed with your family. I just think it's a wonderful opportunity for that stay-home parent that's been there to come back into the workforce, but still have plenty of flexibility. Not have, the children, everyone knows what it's like, children get sick at 10 o'clock in the morning, you're at work, it doesn't go down well in the office, you have to leave. But families are terribly important, so sometimes with this flexibility. So with a franchise, it's a great opportunity. Bring yourself back into the workforce, start to earn some income, start to develop a business to what you need at the time, and then keep developing that business as time moves on.
Now, Jodie, how many franchisees do you currently have in your region?
We have 46 franchisees at the moment.
People might go, well, that's a lot. Is there enough work? So maybe you want to talk about that aspect.
There's plenty of work. Obviously, we're doing this in the middle of winter, and things do slow down in the middle of winter. But in the springtime and there's still work around, people still need their gardens done, there is plenty of work available. Every household has just about a lawn and a garden to maintain, and we're finding that more and more people are not wanting to do those service sort of jobs, They're bringing in a cleaner, they're bringing in a lawn mowing person. So, and that's getting more and more now. People aren't wanting to do all those jobs. People aren't out mowing their lawns themselves. They don't want to go and buy a good lawnmower to mow their lawns. They don't want to. Their kids have footy and netball and basketball and swimming on the weekends. So you can't even get your 10-year-old to go out and mow the lawn anymore because they've got too many other things on. So
and safety, we're a bit more safety conscious.
Yes.
True.
But yeah,
there's plenty of work.
But with work, Joel, like say in the winter, people are always frightened. The first thing they say is, what are you going to do in the winter?
Yeah.
Okay, or in the cooler months, wherever that is in the country. With a little bit of planning and some help with your franchisor, it does slow down a little bit in the winter with leads and things, but with planning and moving forward, there's a lot of work to be done in the winter that doesn't necessarily need to be done in the springtime when it's busy. So it's just planning, holding those jobs, getting them, doing them in the winter. Sometimes in the winter, you can be busier than you actually are in the springtime or in the warmer months.
You've got a whole bunch of gutters, there's landscaping, there's so many things people can do. Rubbish removal, there's a lot.
Getting gardens ready. I always say it's, getting gardens ready for the first beautiful spring day we have coming out of cool winters. Then now the gardens are ready, the clients can then go out and sit in the gardens, be very happy. Their garden's ready. It's not, I get it all ready just for Christmas or in the middle of spring or something. So there is it's always there. It has different variances of how busy you'll be, but it's always there if you just plan and have good procedures in your business and thinking about what you're doing.
Now let's talk about the training component. So if you'd have a lot of people who come from completely unrelated fields, from corporate backgrounds and different things like that and want to change. So how do you get them trained up and how does that all work?
Well, with the training, it starts with we have 6 days with mowing in training. And training, I'm a bit biased. Training is wonderful because I'm a part of training, but it is a very good system at training. It gets you used to the gym system. Then you get some basic mowing and horticultural training. That's not necessarily hands-on, but it's how to develop that business. And then as you come on you come into the gym system and you have your franchisor looking after you, we're there to offer support. Like I'm off this week, tomorrow with one of my franchisees. It's an older franchisee that's been in the system for over 10 years, just to help him out, to try and get him back on track a little bit with his business. Make sure everything's all right. It's not necessarily the doing part of it. It's helping develop his business a bit more. I'm out on Thursday to help someone prune a hedge because they're not really good with heights, and I'll just go and knock the hedge down and help them. So we're always there to help you develop. So, we're here to help you develop your skills. Whatever help you need, we're more than happy to help you out. Come out, have a chat, whether that is the hands-on part, whether it's a part about developing your business or your sales techniques or whatever that is. We're here to help because if you're successful, then we're all successful. Whether that's franchisors or the gyms group itself, we have happy franchisees, everything else takes care of itself. So for me, that's the most important part of getting people happy. So that training component here, the training component with us.
I'd say to people, the training, actually, we put some of the training online in full. We try and be transparent with it, so have a look. And some of John's stuff is on there, but really go to the YouTube channel and have a look as well. So when people look at franchise options, one of the most important things is, how much am I going to make a week, or what's the income guarantee like? So do you want to quickly talk about the gyms one and how that operates and how it can help people make that transition from maybe having that set fortnightly pay into coming into gyms?
Okay, so gyms has a called pay for work guarantee, and that's not it can be a different number for different people. Generally, it's $1,500 a week, and that's not to say that if you make $500, we'll bump you up to the $1,500. because, to be honest, in the 2 years we've been franchisors, we've had no new franchisees that have needed the pay for work guarantee. They have enough work of their own and enough work that we can bring in for them to not need that extra income. But it's there, and it is a bit of a fallback if need be. And the great thing is, I think, with the pay for work that a lot of people don't understand is that you'll be going out doing extra jobs for free. Maybe friends, family, the next door neighbour, you go over and offer to do their lawns, you're getting more experience, you're getting then paid for it through the pay for work guarantee, and you could also then be picking up a new customer for the future.
Yeah, it's a great point, and because it's there to help you build a business, and Jim talks about this online, but it's not just, a lot of franchises will advertise and there may be a lot of stipulations and it's just free money, but that doesn't help anyone really. So we actually pay you to help you build your business if you need it. But as you said, you've never paid it out in 2 years, and a lot of people, even though we promote it a lot, it's very, very rare that in Jim's Mowing especially, it actually even gets paid because of the work that's available.
That's right.
Yeah, the work's available, but it also, not only is it just when you go out to earn income, it also helps you to develop your business in your sales techniques and all of these things. So don't think about just money. It's in the background there if you need it, and we're getting you to go and do these things, then it's helping you to develop your skills of how to find work too. So down the track, in 2 or 3 years, you hit a bit of a quiet patch, you can fall back on these skills you've learned.
Yeah.
You know, not everyone comes from a sales background or is confident with doing, but we'll give you some little keys to go along, get you to go out. It helps you to develop your business and ask the questions. Because buying a franchise is not just buying, it's not buying a job as such. It's not buying an income. You're buying a business. So when you buy a business, if you take care of all the business side of it, the income will happen. It just happens. Or the reward. The reward's not necessarily, I'm always a believer that income or money will only drive you for a short period of time. What drives you is success. And what that success is. For me, it's, income's taking care of itself, but it's the success of the ability now to have a really good business. A business that is self-sufficient, still needs a lot of work, but that's what makes me proud. It's got nothing to do with my income. It's I have developed a business to be able to take care of my family, and that's great, but it's a business that gives me great reward. And a business it's like a child. It's like a family member. It's something that it grows, and you're so proud of it, and you want it to be successful. And I'm the first person, and if you look at successful people in business and you read or whatever, you're never away from the business. You're not necessarily working, but you start to think about it 24/7. It's always in the back of your head. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? It's not all engrossing, and it's not like it's some sort of problem you've got because you can't distance yourself from work, but it's a beautiful thing. And let me tell you, when you get that business up and running, it makes you feel so good as a human being. It is the most wonderful feeling. Your confidence grows, everything grows, and when all that grows, guess what? Your business actually gets better because you are more confident in what you're doing, and as a human being, and it's a wonderful thing.
And John will bring all that passion to supporting every franchisee we have.
Because the business is not money. The business is, for me, to develop my franchisees into having good businesses. And if I can develop, that's not means everyone's going to be happy. Let's not kid ourselves. Not everyone's going to be happy. And that's just the way of the world. So you've got to, you have to think about that, and I have to get my head around that. But it's trying to make sure that they can be happy. And if they want to engage and do the things that at gyms we can teach them, it's not necessarily just me. There's lots of different people out there that will help. We can grow their business, and once they're happy, everything else takes care of itself. So for me, the product is the franchisee is being happy, and that will grow our business. So it's a wonderful thing.
Sorry to interrupt you, John. I'm just going to transition now into costs and then timeframes, Jodie, from your perspective. So let's say someone inquires and, yep, they sound like a good prospect. Like, do you want to just talk about how you guide them to actually wearing a shirt like John here? So what's the sort of process from inquiry to actually day one on the road?
Okay, so an inquiry, you will inquire about gyms, whether you do that through calling the call centre or you've answered a few questions on a Facebook ad, or you've always known somebody who is a gym's franchisee and you've inquired that way. John will call you and set up a meeting. We find it's best to meet face to face and sit down and talk you through everything rather than just throwing a whole heap of documents and things at you that you get to read through. But to be able to sit down with John and feel his passion for the brand and the business and what you could be getting yourself into, I think probably sells itself most of the time. So there will be that, and then you can go away and do all your...
Yeah, we'll guide you through, we'll help you with what your budget might be. We'll guide you through different scenarios and help you with the budget so you can generate an income, generate some income, because if you start from scratch, it's really difficult because it takes a lot of work and then you've got to get that income. So we'll look at your budget, look at your circumstances, see what you need, what best suits you and what you need.
So when you say that, I think you mean, existing client base or buy a split, which is an existing customer system territory.
Or a business, or it might be a vacant territory. Look, vacant territory is very difficult. It's very difficult in not so much where's all the work, it's just difficult. You're starting from scratch. You haven't got a lot of income coming in. It's a big ask. And if you look at small businesses start from scratch, there's probably 90% fail. They fail, and it's not because they're not passionate. It's not because they don't know what they're doing. They haven't got enough income to keep them going in life.
And more so in this industry because, you people, if you're doing $40 mows or competing on price because you can't charge it because you're not a part of a brand, you're going to be gone pretty quick. So I think price as well, being able to actually charge properly with the Jim's brand is an important thing that people should understand.
And the brand, don't just think of Jim's Mowing as it's Jim's Mowing and that brand. It's what that brand brings to the client. It's the quality of work that we bring, okay? And look, let's not kid ourselves. Not everyone's as good as each other. That's just a fact of human nature, okay? But it's also the security that brings. And I talk about the security think about it. People nowadays, you don't know people nowadays with security. So they have cyber security on all their devices. They don't answer the phone because they don't know who it is. They have video cameras at the doors to look at who's coming at the door. So when they ring or inquire with gyms, that brand that we're bringing to the door is that safety net. We know who it is. We know who's coming. Okay? There's all the checks in place. So, that's a part of the security. So that's what I love about the brand. And then that brand will help you to develop your business because of the branding.
Now, going back to what you were saying before about the business itself, so looking at their circumstances, when you sell the franchise, are you packaging everything with the trailer and tools, or how do you sort of organise that with them as well?
We run them through that. We don't package it all together. We have the business separate. We have the training costs separate. We give them the tools. Look, tools and trailer is a big one. You can, different ways of buying a trailer. You can buy a new one. You can buy a second-hand one. Tools, you don't necessarily have to have every tool. There's some basic tools you get. And then once you're developing your business, okay, I need this piece of equipment today. I don't have it. So you've generated some income. Now go and buy the piece of equipment for that job to do it. So you don't necessarily have to go out and spend, I don't know, say $6,000 to fill the trailer full of all the equipment. You can start at $3,000 and then build those pieces of equipment as you're building your business. And also what that helps is you may not have enough money. So you may have to borrow more. Stops you borrowing in your repayments. Therefore, then your business becomes more profitable. And you've got more income coming in. You're not stretched trying to pay loans and all these other things. And your income is really just trying to pay everything you've borrowed. So it's having that balance. And that's where Jodie and I try and talk about that with them to develop their business, their circumstances, what best suits them. How can we get them so they're profitable, they've got income, and they continue on living?
Now, Jodie, from your perspective, what's Jim's Mowing as a business done for you guys? Because I presume coming into it, you wouldn't have known, what was possible and what income, especially, that someone can make with the franchise. So, what's it done for you guys over the years?
So, yes, going back from 10 years ago, we were living week to week, both working full time, but not on these huge wages. And we had a young son, a family, and I honestly thought that John would have this business, that he would be able to pick Adam up from school every day and do all the running around with that. But it just grew and grew, and it grew fairly quickly, where we put on an employee within 12 months.
Oh, 6 months.
6 months. And then extra trailers, and now to the point where we have 7 employees and 4 trailers out on the road.
Actually got 8, Jodie. We put
8.
another person on.
Okay, 8. 8 employees, great. And that is all on the one fee.
Yeah, which
the
is
same
great.
fee
Exactly.
that you pay for one person, you pay for however many employees. So it's given us an income. We were able to, our son went to private school and had a hobby that was, or a sport that was quite expensive. He was a swimmer, allowed us to pay for all of that. It just gave us the
Financial freedom.
Yeah.
It was, we've worked. Don't kid yourself. You've got to work goddamn hard, but it's given us.
It gives you a vehicle to more. The more harder you work, the more you get paid. If you're in a salary job, you can work hard out of hours. You're not going to get any extra.
We just
That's
work.
right.
We still continue to work hard. I'm still working on that balance now, 11 years down the track. But money's not driving me. It's the success that's driving me. And that's what drives me every day. And that's the beautiful thing about if you buy a franchise. It takes you where you want it to go. You may not want to, you may just generate a small business and along it goes. It doesn't have to be a large business. It's what makes you happy. I've got this thing. I'm not here. The world judges, everyone judges you. You need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. Okay, if you're happy and you're not hurting anyone, who cares? So if you're working 6 hours a day and that income suits you and you're happy, then you know what? I'm as happy as Larry for that person in life. And we need to bring that skill, we need to bring that to ourselves. So if that makes you happy, I work 80 hours a week and I never stop. But that makes me happy. So that's fine. I don't care what people think or think you work too hard or whatever, but it makes me happy.
Yeah.
So, and this is what Jim's gave me the ability to do this, to be able to work. I love work. I'm the first to admit it. I just love it. I'm passionate about it. Jim's passionate about work. Jim keeps going to work every day. He's always there. You know, I always talk to franchisees saying...
I heard the video because I went to training just this morning with John, and that video from the last Ask Jim's was on.
Oh, okay.
And someone asked him about when he's going to retire and that, and it was, he's got some life expectancy thing you can plug in, and he said so he's pretty much going to live till he's about 95 and he'll retire when he's dead. Yeah,
his retirement party will be in a box. Yeah, that's what he always says. Yeah.
And that makes Jim happy. That may not make the next person happy.
Well, so I think that'll be you too.
Yeah, that's okay. It's all good.
But a couple of things I'll interject things. You know, if you're watching this for the first time, I do a lot of interviews with franchisees, and I've met a lot of franchisees who've been in the system for around 25, 30 years. And one of the things they don't get talked about enough is the health aspects of it. You meet these people at 65 or 60 who've been doing it for 20 years, and everyone goes, oh, your body will be stuffed after 2 years. And completely opposite. These guys are trim. They look fantastic. They look 10 years younger because they're outside all day, getting some good vitamin D. They're exercising. And then mentally as well, the mental side of them, they're just really relaxed and happy. I think that's a really big thing. We sort of underestimate. A lot of people in stressed corporate environments, they might be trying to keep up the Joneses and having just money in, money out, working far outside the hours they're supposed to work. Yet, whereas with this, as you said, if you have that mindset of that really hard-working mentality, put it to good use in something like this, and away you go. Because I know we've had a few corporates I've met, really high-level people, and they come through to this, and it's just amazing to see the transformation of them. From when we came through training to maybe 6 months or a year later when I interview them, it's amazing to see they're de-stressed. And I think it's a really important thing.
You're in control of your own life.
Yeah.
You know, you're not working in a big corporate or working for whoever you're working for. You're in the control of another person. Now you're in control of your own life. I always talk about not buying a business and thinking of 9 to 5, Monday to Friday.
Yep.
Think of Monday to Sunday. Now, flex your time where you want it to be. If you want to go to the children's sport on Wednesday, you know, because that's when, and look at the kids on the afternoon, then work Saturday morning. Or, you know, work hard on Monday to Tuesday so you can get Wednesday afternoon off. As you're getting older, it might be the children are independent, they're not at school anymore and all this, and you want the ability to be able to go and play golf on a Wednesday or fish or whatever your hobby is. I shouldn't always say Wednesday, but that day, you choose to use that day. So, okay, I go to work on Saturday because I don't need to be doing that when it's really busy. I can flex my time. I can go to work, do my work, make my life work for me. You know, this comes from a bloke saying he works 80 hours a week. But even I'm learning that now to start to get, as I've got older, I don't need to look after a family as much. I can flex my time. They don't need me. Kids don't need you on the week. Children don't need you on the weekend. So therefore, flex your time in the middle of the week. Or it's the same thing. You might have time in the middle of the week to do your hobby, and then on Saturdays go to the children's, or on Sundays go to children's sport. Saturdays go to work.
No, I think that's an important thing, what you said before about the flexibility of the business and how you make it. Like, you've built it to a pretty big level where, you know, serious revenue business, but we've got franchisees who might be around 20 years, just love doing a sole trader. Then as they get a bit older, they scale it back to 3.5 days a week.
Yeah.
I know one guy who's doing 3 days a week, earning good money. He does like a couple of charity days and golf and stuff as well. And you know yourself from other franchisors in the region who don't refuse to work Fridays, and that's the golf day and these sorts of things. So you can really flex it around what you need and still make a really good income.
Yeah,
which is the key.
You're in control of your own destiny. So also when if you're thinking about buying a gym, have a plan and a vision of what you want. So when you come on, you know where you want it to head. And it might take, that vision or plan might take 2 years to execute.
Yeah.
Might take 12 months. But you can execute that vision and plan. So you might have to, really work hard for a period of time to get to the vision where you want it. So I've got this goal in X amount of time, I want to be there. So sitting down, not just going, I'm sick of working, I'm sick of working for people, or some idiot at work telling me what to do or whatever. Have that vision and that plan when you start or before you inquire even. Sit down and think about that. Now, when you come to talk to me as a franchisor or any other franchisor, we can see where you want to go and we can help to guide you. Whether not necessarily in your business, but help you in your business plan, a bit in your business plan, but also help to guide your skills to be able to reach your goal of what you want. This is what you'll need to do because we've got experience. We've been there, done it.
Yep.
We've seen the successes and we've seen the failures. And we learn from all of this, especially from the failures. Where do we go wrong? Jodie and I are still developing as franchisors, bringing in more procedures to help make people more successful, or to help them not be more successful, but a bigger chance for them to be successful.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're bringing and changing procedures all the time. So, and trying to develop ourselves as franchisors, as human beings, as business people.
Yeah.
We're always there.
Now, 2 more questions before we go. So, Jodie, what would you say to a partner who was thinking about this or watching this? What would you say to the partner maybe about the business? Because there's obviously, they might have a bit of doubt, there'd be a lot of fear. What would you sort of say to them as maybe some words of encouragement, or what would you recommend they do?
I would say if your partner has a passion for this and wants to buy their own business, support them all the way. It's a great opportunity. You don't have to be involved in the business if you don't want to, but I would say that you need to be happy that this is something that your partner wants to do. And it's been great for us. And I always said, I will support you all the way, honey. Just don't ask me to mow a lawn. And I still haven't mowed a lawn. But now I run the other part of the business. But it's a family business for us now. Our son works on the tools as well. So he's He's a landscaper, but he's now come into the business. So it can take you wherever you want it to go. And I would not hesitate to, support him.
Well, with our son now, he's 20, he'll be 26 soon. We're developing him more into taking over day-to-day running of the business. So he's more involved in doing quotes, he's more involved in dealing with customers. We're helping him to grow. So for me, again, this is a massive transition, and it's really difficult for a lot of people to let go of control. But it's wonderful to see him get excited. It's no different to a new franchisee coming along. I'm watching him grow because I have a lot of faith in what he can do. He's got good skills. He just needs to develop some other sales skills and some business skills, and we're helping him to do that. And I'm watching him really smile and be happy because now he's knowing it's not the boss, or it's not dad, or it's not mum. It's now they're giving me control. They're trusting me that I can do this. And for me, watching that grow with Adam, it's just magnificent. So it's the same when I bring in as a franchisee. They are a big part of my family. And to watch someone grow and develop a business, I'm just as proud as.
There we go. Well, thank you very much for your time today, guys.
Thank you.
Now, if you want to inquire, guys, please call 131546 or jimsmowing.com.au. I will recommend you do this as well. Check out the Jim's Mowing podcast, the Jim's Group podcast, and the YouTube channels. We have a Jim's Group YouTube channel and a Jim's Mowing YouTube channel. We've got a lot of interviews on there. So if you need more convincing, watch that. Even better, inquire and then get a list of franchisees in John and Jodie's region. They had their mobile numbers there. You can call them and come on observation day and see if you like it as well. So we encourage you to do that. But thank you very much for your time today. And if you are watching this till the end, thank you. And we hopefully you take action and don't be one of those people who say, I wish I did it 10 years ago. I hear it all the time. So please take action and we'll hopefully see you in training soon.